Bleeding and flushing the brakes. This procedure will cover all hydraulic brake systems. This application also can be applied to the front and the rear. Brake fluid should be changed at least once a year. Reasons for bleeding your brake system is to remove the air from the fluid. Signs of air in the fluid are a mushy or a soft brake. This procedure will cover bleeding and flushing at the same time. The first step is to remove the brake reservoir cover. If you have a throttle assembly in the way, be a good time to rotate it back out of the way so we can get to the screws and remove the cover. Next, make sure your cover is clean and free of any debris. You do not want any debris falling down into your brake reservoir. Next, we can remove the 2 Phillip head screws that hold the cover on and remove the cover. You will notice that there is a rubber diaphragm. If your brake reservoir is low on fluid, the diaphragm would be pulled out, like so. Before reinstalling, you want to make sure the diaphragm is all pushed back in. When bleeding your brakes, you will need to catch the brake fluid coming from your brake caliper. A good way to do so is take an old, empty, used oil container, drill a hole in the top, and put a clear tube into the container. First step, we will remove our black rubber cap from our brake caliper bleeder. There's a bleeder on your front and the rear. Both of them will look exactly the same. Next, I'm going to install my wrench and then take the clear hose and install onto my bleeder. Using a clear hose, you'll be able to see all the air bubbles coming out of the caliper. When bleeding and flushing your brake system, you definitely want to make sure that your brake fluid does not get below 1/4 inch on the bottom of the brake reservoir. If it gets below this, your master cylinder will suck air, and then you'll have to start all over again bleeding your brakes. Make sure you use your manufacturer's specified brake fluid. If you're doing the front brake system, it's a good idea to stand in front of the bike. Simply use your left hand and pump up the brake, moving the lever towards the handlebar. Once it's pumped, maybe 2-3 pulls of the brake lever, keep and apply pressure on your brake lever. While pressure is applied to your brake lever, you will go down with your wrench on the caliper and crack the wrench loose. Keeping pressure applied to your lever, fluid will come out of the caliper. Tighten your caliper bleeder back up before you let go of your brake lever. Now that you let go, you can pump it up a couple more times and crack the bleeder again. If you have air in the system, air bubbles will come out and you can see them through the clear hose. Or if your brake fluid is old, the brake fluid will look brown or a really, really dark black color if it's very old. Flushing new fluid through, you will keep doing this until all the fluid looks clean. If you're removing the air from the system, you will do this until all the air has bled out. To properly bleed or flush your system, sometimes you may have to fill your reservoir 3, 4, or even 5 times and flush it all the way through. After you've bled your system 3 or 4 times and all the air has been removed from the brake system or all the old fluid has been flushed, you will need to top off your brake reservoir with your brake fluid. Now we're going to make sure our cap is nice and clean and reinstall our brake reservoir cap. Cleaning off your Brake reservoir cap, you can use brake cleaner or contact cleaner. Make sure you use your safety glasses when using brake cleaner. And simply spray off your cap, and we can blow it off with compressed air. Most brake reservoirs, at least for the front, will have writing on the top of the cap. You want to make sure that the writing faces you as if you were sitting on the bike. Install your cap. You'll notice that some excess brake fluid will squeeze out, but that is okay. Next, we can install our cap screws. Installing the cap with the fluid full puts excess pressure on your brake system or fluid. To ensure there's not excess pressure, you want to bleed off your system one time. Simply pump your brake lever and hold, and then relieve the pressure with your wrench. And then tighten. Let go of your lever. With fresh fluid and no air in the brake system, you should get a nice firm feel to your brake lever. Lastly, we can remove our clear tubing and our wrench, and now we can just clean the area up with brake cleaner.
We hope you found this video helpful. Please look for our other videos from Motor Power Video Productions. Have fun and be safe.